Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wal aqibatul muttaqeen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen, Sayyidina wa Nabiyana wa Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa ashabihi barik wa sallim. Qala rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respected elders, ulama, brothers and sisters, I greet you with the universal greeting of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, as some of you may know, I've returned last week as part of a delegation of 4 on a humanitarian mission to Afghanistan with Africa Muslims Agency. And upon our return, a number of us felt compelled to bring this message back home to South Africa about the situation in Afghanistan, our brothers and sisters, the situation they find themselves in, and the assistance that they require. Now, the people of Afghanistan, the first impression you get when you arrive in Afghanistan, particularly this time of year, is the bitter, bitter cold. And as you leave the airport, you enter the streets of Kabul, and you see there's a bustling of energy. It's a vibrant city, and in the distance you see idyllic snow-capped mountains. And those snow-capped mountains belie the desperation of many, many families in Afghanistan. As you know, Afghanistan is a country that has been experiencing conflict for more than 4 decades. So 4 decades of continuous conflict. For the generation that is there, and many of the elders, that's all they know. That's their daily life. They've only experienced conflict. They do not know what a normal life is the way you and I experience. All they know is conflict. But through that, there is a hope. In the past 3 years, there's a new coalition leadership, mashallah. They're unified, and they see a future for Afghanistan. And they are prepared to work. You do not see beggars on the street of Kabul. People are selling things, no matter what it is, the smallest of items, in the villages and in the streets of Kabul. You see it's a hive of activity, mashallah. It's an industrious people, it's a warm people, it's people that are generous in spirit and in whatever it is they have. Even the little they have, they want to share with you. That's the first impressions you get. And you understand that as you spend more time in Afghanistan, that it's not a normal situation. There are families that go for days without eating. There are families that are experiencing desperate situations in terms of cold, how cold it is, in terms of lack of housing, etc. And the recurring theme that kept coming up for many of us, for the delegation of who that were there, and for some of the Afghanistan team, was the recurring theme of mercy. Because when you sit there and you say, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, how will it descend on these people? How are they going to experience the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Who are the ones that are going to respond to their desperate situation? It's 4 decades of conflict. And these people are trying to find a way out. They are trying to heal Afghanistan. The best way to illustrate this, and why I mention desperation is because many of us, we find ourselves often, and sometimes not so often, but we do find ourselves in situations of desperation. And we find ourselves on the musalla, And we appeal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy. And in the middle of the night, in the early hours of the morning, our tears fall on our musallas, and we say, Ya Allah, please, I need your mercy now. I need your assistance now. It reminded me of Nabi Musa alayhi salam, when there was a time in sheer desperation, he said, Ya Allah, if there's something good that you've stored for me in the future, I'm so desperate, please bring. If there's something that you've got for me in the near future or in the future, I need it now. Now is my need. And that is how we find ourselves in that situation from time to time. From time to time, we may find and we test it and we find ourselves in that situation. But for the people of Afghanistan, it is not from time to time. For the people of Afghanistan, many of them on the outskirts, in the mountains, it's every day that they say, Ya Allah, your mercy, I need it now. If there's anything in the future, bring it to me now. The best way to illustrate this desperation is probably through examples and through the numerous families that we visited. There were two families that I'm going to mention that left an indelible mark on me and made me very determined that we need to help these families, because they are two of thousands upon thousands. A country ravaged in conflict for 4 decades, 2.6 million orphans. How do we deal with that? The one family, the first family, it set the tone for us. The Mohammadi family, a mom who lost her husband about 10 years ago, 3 orphan children, and every day they eke out a living. The kids have left school, and the only way they can make a living, and she explained, there's an interview process and we compile a database, and in the interview process she says, through the interpreters, that the last Ramadan, the first 10 days of Ramadan, they had nothing to eat for suhoor. They needed to work through the day, collecting scraps and rubble and so on, garbage plastics, in order to give it for recycling, and in so doing, earn approximately 30 rand per day, per person. 3 kids and the mom. The mom does some embroidery work and stitching. But through that, they are able to earn something during the course of the day, so that when they break their fast, they have something for iftar. That's the only time that they'll be able to eat. And come tomorrow morning, when they take the niyyah for suhoor, there's nothing to eat, because they could only buy a piece of bread and tea. And that's the staple. So what happens? This mom experiences this, and through the interview process we learned, the 11-year-old tells us that eventually, out of sheer desperation, she goes to the neighbor, and the neighbor tells her, we did not know that this was the situation, because they're all in desperate situations, and shared the little that they had, so that they had something for suhoor that next morning. That very mom, when we entered her home, she was jubilant. She said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has answered my prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has answered my prayers. Because through that desperation, 2 weeks prior, she eventually confessed that she had considered taking the lives of her 3 children and herself. And she's telling this to us with tears streaming down her face. I don't think her kids knew, because tears were streaming down their faces. And she said that I looked at their faces, I bought the poison. I looked at their faces and I couldn't get myself to go through the act. And in that moment, she fell to the ground and she appealed to Allah, please send your help. And 2 weeks later, we walked through a door. African Muslim Agency, delegation of 4 from Cape Town and Johannesburg in Afghanistan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah. Her du'as. This is the belief and the yaqeen of these people that she said, Allah has answered my du'as. And we were there in a home and we listened and we vowed that we will assist this family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-A'raf, وَالرَّحْمَةِ وَسِيَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. My mercy encompasses all things. The spirit of these people know that when difficulties befall them, they are solely reliant on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Solely responsible, dependent on the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And through another family, a young boy named Nisar Ahmed, the Baraki family, he's running the household, age 17. 4 orphan kids, the mom. Young Nisar is 17 years old. He's unable to read and write, but he's selling plastic bags, carrier bags in the marketplace. And he's been doing that since the age of 11. So we ask ourselves, how did young Nisar get to this point? And to explain to you very quickly, we learned through the interview process that his father passed away. He was a victim of a suicide bombing in the marketplace. And his dad had passed on, and then leaving 4 young orphans, Nisar Ahmed, age 11. After the Idda period, the mom decides that someone needs to earn a living. The kids are hungry. And she decides to go to the marketplace. That day, Nisar Ahmed, age 11, did not go to school. And we only learned this after a second discussion with the mom, just to show you the character of these people. Yes, that day, Nisar Ahmed did not go to school. He sat at home waiting for his mom. And he sat and he waited. He sat and he waited. And when she walked through the door, he embraced her. He embraced her because he said the last time his dad left, his dad did not return. And his biggest fear is that it's something had happened to her, that the 4 of them would be orphaned and destitute with no family. So what does young Nisar Ahmed do, age 11? He sits his mom down, age 11. He sits his mom down and he tells her that as of tomorrow, I'm going to the marketplace and I'll sell those carrier bags. And if there's a bomb blast in the marketplace and I perish, at least I know my 3 siblings will have a mother or a parent. And he makes that decision. That's the character. Nisar Ahmed, 17 years old today. 6 years later, nothing has changed for him. He's still selling carrier bags. He had to take 2 hours off in order to do the interview with us. That's the character of this person. He didn't even tell us that story. We had to only find that out while asking more probing questions. And in that moment, and this is a man, we're trying to give people dignity. He's shy because he cannot read and write. He's 17, but he's heading that household since the age of 11. And his mom wants better for him. And we ask ourselves, how do we change the condition of young Nisar Ahmed and everybody else? It is through various programs, and we vowed that we will be assisting Nisar Ahmed and that we will find a sponsor for him and his family. And it's through the various programs where we as the Muslim Ummah respond to the call and the desperation of our brothers and sisters. There are various humanitarian organizations. And just in terms of the work that we were doing as Africa Muslims Agency, a volunteer, there's the Orphan Hope Project, where they see to the basic education of a person in the home. They see a young child. In this case, we want to get the education for Nisar Ahmed. Food in the home. There's the Bread of Hope Project. 6 bakeries around the outskirts of Kabul, where the families learn a skill in terms of baking. There's a card system, and every day there is bread delivered based on the size of the family with a card system where everybody gets ticked off as they collect the bread. If you go on Instagram and you go on social media, you'll see the programs in action. There are various packs. Never shall we have people going and having suhoor without anything to eat, or iftar without anything to eat. So there's iftar packs, suhoor packs. There's the borehole project. You've got many young kids who are dying as a result of drinking contaminated water. One of the reservoirs that we saw that was constructed by AMA is a 12 megaliter reservoir perched on a mountain. Water gets taken to a 4 megaliter and then to a 12 megaliter. I had a full view of how that operates. And so that there's clean running water. And that's a big project, the borehole project in Afghanistan, because we need running water. And then there's also the winter rescue program, which is literally rescuing families who need warmth, either wood, stove, blankets, etc. Because they're sitting on a cold cement floor, open windows, no glass windows, just openings and a door opening and a makeshift door. And getting hot meals to these families. And meals is an important point because the next launch is something called the Meals of Mercy. Now, the Meals of Mercy is a new project that's being launched. 23 nations, one table. Why do we say one table? When we give our SADAQA and we respond to the need of our fellow Muslims, we are giving from our table to their table. We are giving from our table to their table. And in so doing, we ask ourselves, what are we doing? What are we doing when we give the SADAQA? We become the vehicles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. And when we do this, our acts of mercy, it helps restore the dignity of our brothers and sisters. It helps restore the dignity of our brothers and sisters as we provide the food, the blankets, the clothing, and the meals of mercy. Because should we ever find ourselves in a situation where we are desperately in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rahmah. And remember, I just want to recount, in Sahih Bukhari, Abu Huraira reported that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completed the creation, he wrote in his book, with upon him the throne, verily my mercy prevails over my wrath. That means that if should Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy be, wrath be upon us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises the mercy will prevail over the wrath. That means that it can undo, it will overcome. So through our sadaqah, we keep these things away and we become the conduits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. And we become the conduits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and bring hope to these families in Afghanistan through all the various programs that you donate to. Because in so doing, when we do these acts of mercy, and I must mention to you, through one of our interviews, a young girl, when we asked her what is every day like, she used a very strange word. She said, every day for me is Qiyamah. And we thought to ourselves, this is a strange word. This is the third time I'm in a conflict zone. I've never ever heard through all the interviews someone say every day is like Qiyamah. Like Maulana would say, Ajib. Every day is Qiyamah, and we thought, and one of the brothers who was with us, Brother Umar, said, this is very thought-provoking that you're using this word. Because by saying every day is like Qiyamah, you are reminding us that we are accountable on Yawmul Qiyamah. This word was placed in the mouth of that girl by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to hear. Every day is like Qiyamah for her. So we have to take heed that when these warnings come, when these messages come, to call to action, do we respond to the call to action? Do we just say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow? No. We respond now. This is the month of Shaban, Mubarak month of Shaban. We're entering the Mubarak month of Ramadan. All our good deeds now, Shaban, Ramadan, it's amplified. Now is the time to respond and to the call to action. Now is the time for us to respond and become the vehicles of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. Because when we respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, do we not only bring the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the homes of the Afghani people? Maaf, there's just a request for a doctor at the back. It's a medical emergency. Can we please, anybody that's a medical doctor, if they can just go to the back, min fadlik, if you can follow Brother Yaish. When we respond, just wait that situation. Alhamdulillah, I see that they found a doctor, so they're busy responding to, attending to the person. So when we respond to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's call, and this call to action, we then, as we say, from my table to their table, what are we doing? We're not only bringing mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the houses in Afghanistan, we are ensuring that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers our call to pray. When we say, Ya Allah, I need your help now. Whatever is in the future, bring it to me now. I need it now. When we do these actions, we bring the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala into our homes and to our lives. So respond to the call to action. Let's help heal our brothers and sisters, and let's help heal Afghanistan. وآخر الدعوة الحمد لله رب العالمين.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, heartwarming to see that our chairman has made his way back in one piece, alhamdulillah, from Afghanistan. He did go to the Taliban, you know. But alhamdulillah, we can see the cap, alhamdulillah, that he's wearing. May Allah Ta'ala bless him. This is just so much things to reflect on. So many things has been said, but may Allah accept all the efforts, first of all, of our chairman, who took out of his precious time, moving away from his family to go and serve the ummah, and to go and see, and for him to come back to remind us of Allah Ta'ala's mercy. Allahu Akbar, that is amazing. And it actually gives us that comfort that every day we are favored by Allah Ta'ala's mercy. These people are struggling. Children have to play adult roles. We every day go home and we are in our comfort zones. Allah just give us every day. Subhanallah. May Allah really, really, truly, these organizations that take out of their time, and some of them gives their lives for serving the ummah. And not only the ummah when I mean Muslims, but mankind at large. Trying to see that at least a person can have a meal for the day. Some of them have had meals for weeks, for days, subhanallah. And then Allah has chosen people like our chairman to go out and to go and be a means of inspiration to others and to give them hope that we are here as an ummah, we are trying our best. So make dua for us, and we hope that their prayers that they do on behalf of those who came in the entire ummah, because they are an oppressed nation. They are a nation that are being deprived, not by their own will, but by some of us that know there are struggles out there. Right? But we are not doing anything to make a change. Cape Town, South Africa is very blessed. We have organizations, and I just looked up now and I saw, I don't want to mention the names, but people that cooks pots and pots and pots of food for those who don't have, to have but a little bite in order to fill their tummies. You know, our father know who he is. Allah grant him Umrah Maqbool as well, mashallah. He just returned from Umrah as well. But this is inspiration to us as an ummah. May Allah allow us to soften our hearts, inshallah, and then we will receive that hadith that our beloved chairman has quoted, that Lam yarhamin nas, lam yarhamhullah. If we don't show mercy to mankind, how do we expect to receive the mercy from Allah? May Allah Ta'ala always shower His mercy upon us. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. So we say Jazakallahu Khairan to our chairman for that beautiful, beautiful presentation of his feedback trip now to Afghanistan. And may Allah Ta'ala make it easy for all the people who are in difficulty. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Sister Shahima Adams, your husband is not doing too well, inshallah ta'ala. If you are present, Yaish, are they outside? He will be at the back, inshallah ta'ala, outside at the back of the masjid, bi'idhnillah. If you can make your way there, min fadlikum, to assist, inshallah. Jazakallahu Khairan. May Allah grant shifa'an kamilan min kulli da. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. That ameen of yours was so sincere, I'm sure he will be fine in the next few minutes. Ameen ya Rabb. So alhamdulillah, yes, just a few announcements. One exciting announcement, you know, always when people progress in our community, we acknowledge that. And here we have a book launch announcement where our beloved brother, Professor Aslam Fattar, has launched a book, inshallah ta'ala, by the name Cultivating an Ethics of Beauty and Excellence in Planetary Times and Engaged Muslims Anthology. So mashallah, this is written by our beloved Professor Aslam Fattar, who is a researcher and a professor in the higher education transformation at Stellenbosch University, and published by the Awqaf South Africa, which also makes us proud. And this is part of what I've mentioned, that this is the year that we will celebrate 1,500 years of our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. MashaAllah, how fortunate we are, 1,500 years to commemorate our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Let's be a part of this. This is one of the endeavors, MashaAllah. Here we see the fruits of it. Leaders and Legacy series is starting now already, MashaAllah. And may Allah Ta'ala allow us to be a part of this and to also contribute, inshaAllah Ta'ala, for this beautiful legacy of Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The event details is that it will take place on Saturday, the 8th of February, at 11 o'clock, inshaAllah, till 12:30 p.m. On the corner of Buitekant and Caledon Street, District 6, Cape Town. It's called the Homecoming Center, inshallah ta'ala. For the inquiries, we can inquire via Brother Hassanain Abdullah, and inshallah we have the number available for whoever needs it. You can make contact with us. We have our Gaza demonstration as well today, immediately after Jummah, inshallah ta'ala. Please, we can never stop talking about Cape Town. We see what is happening. I don't even want to go into that. Time is of essence, inshallah ta'ala. And then we have our own Arwah al-Shabab youth initiatives and events that is taking place now. We have a Sha'ban drive until the end of February, where 2 boxes will be placed into the masjid areas. And mashallah, this is amazing that our youth are taking it up by, they will be donating Qur'ans and some materials on Islam, inshallah ta'ala, for people to come and be assisted with this, because some people, they don't have Qur'ans, they can't find Qur'ans. Here our youth is making an initiative, and also books to assist them, inshallah. So assist them until the end of February. There will be a box in the female section as well as a box that will be placed in the male section, inshallah. There's also a hike that will be done by our youth on the 16th of February. It's combined, males and females. Obviously there will be strict segregation, inshallah ta'ala. More information to be by the youth, and it will be sent out on our communications, as well as a ladies talk by Sayyid Ahmad Al-Kahf, family of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He's a Sayyid that is from Jeddah, originally studied in Tarim under Habib Umar bin Hafidh, mashallah, and now he's living here, transforming, mashallah, lives here in Cape Town with his ilm, with his knowledge and his expertise. He will be addressing our females, mashallah, on Sunday the 23rd of February. The poster will give you all the details, but I will, highly recommend that we send our mothers and our daughters. There's place for children also. Our mothers can bring the children as well, inshallah ta'ala. So please bring them. Gaza demonstration, okay, it's not after Jummah like it was sent here. It's at 5 p.m. inshallah. So we don't have immediately after Jummah our Gaza demonstration. It will be at 5 p.m. bi'idhnillahi tabaraka wa ta'ala. Then our workshop team, MashaAllah, we know our workshop team is very active, and it starts now, MashaAllah, whereby Friday the 14th, next week Friday, they are launching the monthly khalaqa. The monthly khalaqa, inshallah, a lot of communications will be going out to the community on all the details for that. But this is important. Send your females in our Friday afternoon. I think it starts after Asr, if I'm not mistaken. MashaAllah, the first khalaqa will entail, starting with the book of Allah Ta'ala, where khatam will be recited, inshaAllah Ta'ala. And then we have also Sunday workshops that will resume on the 16th of February. So Friday, the khalaqa, and then immediately the 16th. And this is, mashallah, a series that will be ran by Muallima Rushan Misbah. And the topic is, are you Ramadan ready? So our females always have a lot of questions with regards to Ramadan. Only females, mashallah, they can come. Mu'allima Rushana Misbah, inshallah ta'ala, has a topic for them ready. Are you Ramadan ready? So may Allah ta'ala bless, inshallah, all these endeavors here at Masjid AL-ČɁBÀ. Mashallah, Allah ta'ala accept all the efforts. And inshallah, like we say, Allahumma barik lana fi Sha'ban. Ya Allah, grant us the barakah of the month of Sha'ban. Wa ballighna Ramadan, and allow us to reach the month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, the month of the Ummah, the month where we will reach the benefits and the fruits of what we have planted. And mashallah, watered throughout these 2 months. May Allah accept. Jazakallahu Khairan. Wa akhiru da'wana. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فيا أيها المتقون اتقوا الله اتقوا الله اتقوا الله، فإن التقوى ملاك الحسنات. وعليكم بالسنة، فإن السنة تهدي إلى الإطاعة، ومن أطاع الله ورسوله فقد رشد واهتدى. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم التنزيل بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: ورحمتي وسعت كل شيء. صدق الله العظيم. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: من لم يرحم الناس لم يرحمه الله. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام أيضا: لما قضى الله الخلق كتب عنده فوق عرشه: إن رحمتي سبقت غضبي. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله أستغفر الله الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات، فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. اللهم صل وسلم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم التنزيل بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك، وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر، وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر، وأصدقهم حياء عثمان، وأقضاهم علي، وفاطمة سيدة نساء أهل الجنة، والحسن والحسين سيدا شباب بأهل الجنة، وحمزة أسد الله وأسد رسوله. اللهم اغفر للعباس وولده مغفرة ظاهرة وباطنة لا تغادر ذنبه، رضي الله تعالى عنهم عن كل الصحابة أجمعين. الله في أصحابي لا تتخذوهم غرضا من بعدي، فمن أحبهم فبحبي أحبهم، ومن أبغضهم فببغضي أبغضهم، وخير أمتي قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم، واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم ولا معهم. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان.
اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم رب الناس أذهب البأس، اشف وأنت شافي، لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك، شفاء لا يغادر سقما ولا ألما برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروني ولا تكفرون. قوموا إلى صلاتكم رحمكم الله. أقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله سيدنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. استووا يعتدلوا فلا تختلفوا فتختلف قلوبكم. الصلاة رحمكم الله. صلوا صلاة المودع. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى. ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى. فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله استغفر الله العظيم استغفر الله العظيم استغفر الله العظيم. Tamam Jamaat, just one announcement also we make inshallah ta'ala a special dua for someone that has passed away. It is the mother of Mr. Kabir Ismail, mashallah. He requested that we make dua for his beloved mother. As of today she would have been 75 years of age. She passed on 5 years ago. May Allah Ta'ala grant her and all the marhum Jannatul Firdaus Al-A'la inshaAllah Ta'ala, and sabr and contentment in the hearts of the family members, and for them to live the legacy of their parents inshaAllah Ta'ala. All of the khair and the good that they do, may Allah Ta'ala reward their parents abundantly for that, and for us who are left behind, may Allah Ta'ala grant us for this to be a reminder for us that we will soon be meeting all the deceased, and may we, when we meet Allah Ta'ala, may we meet Him when He's pleased with us inshaAllah Ta'ala, and may our last moments be our best moments. Ameen, Ameen, Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا واغفر لنا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام وإليك يعود السلام. فحينا ربنا بالسلام وأدخلنا الجنة برحمتك دار السلام. تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها وسكنها في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها وروحها في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها وأدخلها في الجنة وتجاوز عن سيئاتها واغسلها مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. ذلك الفضل من الله وكفى بالله عليما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. مقبول إن شاء الله. حسبنا
We are in Wadi Qazi on the outskirts of Kabul. In the background you can see the mountains. I'm just going to flip the camera just to show you where we are at. We are at the foothills of the mountains. And you'll see some of the villages up against the mountain slopes. And inshallah we'll be visiting those villages soon. This is the Bread of Hope, AMA Bread of Hope Bakery, where we are able to inshallah give a loaf of bread per person per day in the households using the card system shown earlier. And basically a tick mark is made just to ensure that there is control. And this is the bakery where the bread is made by some of the locals, mashallah, also upskilling them, and they can earn a living inshallah, and with that restoring dignity to families. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.